think watching Michael Jackson when I was younger and stuff like that. I always wanted to be on stage. Always wanted to be a singer. Never thought like I'd get into a band like this, whatever. But just kept trying and did a few musicals and then got lucky, I suppose. It's about 4 years ago. About four or 5 years ago. We're in IOU for about a year and a half. It was just kind of amateur, really amateur at home in Sligo, the northwest of Ireland, just kind of doing like small shows and stuff. It's nothing really until we met Louis, and then met Nicky and Brian that the actual band really started, to be honest. So my mum rang him. And couldn't get him for like weeks, and then eventually got him. And she's from the same town as him in Mayo, like originally. And so they knew the family. Louis knew her family, and was like, "Oh yeah, I'll meet your son and see what he's like," and blah blah blah. So myself and Keane went to meet Louis, and it was from then on. Then he just kind of kept meeting us, and then eventually took us on. Well, 3 of the members Louis thought didn't fit the group, so it was kind of like make or break. So we had to make a decision. So we did, and we held auditions and found Nicky and Brian. It was very hard for us. It was very hard for us as a group, as like we were friends with them and stuff like that. It was very hard to do that, but I think it was something that we had to do for our careers. We couldn't let anything affect that. So each and every one of us would have done it. Do you know what I mean? So it was just unfortunate for the 3 guys, but we're still friends with them and stuff, so it's not too bad.
Myself and Brian actually went to Real to their audition, and Louis was there. At the audition, and he was looking for, secretly Louis was looking for another member for IOU at the time, which myself and Brian didn't know anything about. And then basically what happened was we got up and sang, and Louis kind of called us over, and Keane was there at the time, and introduced us to Keane after myself and Brian sung. Louis came up to us and said, I'm doing this separate pop band, and he said, I'd like you to, to maybe be involved. So we got introduced to Keane, and then Keane was telling us the whole story about IOU, the Backstreet Boys and stuff like that. And I went from there. Then we just kept in contact, and we held then the proper auditions for IOU at the time.
No, I mean, I think the fact that myself, Shane, and Mark come from Sligo and we started it up ourselves. We were so interested in just getting the right band. All we wanted was to do it, and no matter what we had to do, we were prepared to do it. And when we met Nicky and Brian, we knew straight away that they were the right 2. Because we used to always look up to the Backstreet Boys. And I remember saying to Louis, if we get the 2 of them in the band, we've got the next Backstreet Boys. We've got a proper vocal group. Because Brian also brought a new harmony to the group, and also so did Nicky. So it was just all of a sudden we went from a 3-piece harmony to a 5-piece harmony, and it just really blended straight away. It just worked. And to be honest with you, we might as well have known them all our lives, because that's what it felt like. Simon Cowell came back over, and the thing about it was we had rehearsed an awful lot for our second set of record company auditions, and then all of a sudden every record company wanted to sign us. So it ended up being a big battle from one extreme to the next, to totally not getting signed to everybody wanting to sign us. So it was quite good.
We worked very hard as a group. We got great songs from producers, really top quality songs. I think that's what kind of set us apart from a lot of bands around that time. I think getting the Smash Hits Award straight up helped us a lot with the fan base.
Boys on tour.
Boys on tour, we did in Europe and in the UK and Ireland. And then once Swear It Again came out, it was #1, and followed it up with a great single, If I Let You Go, and then of course Flying Without Wings was like one of our biggest hits. And I think from that we kind of crossed over as well to a different audience with that song, a bit of a slightly older audience as well. So from then on, we just kept getting bigger and bigger, really.
I can remember getting into the band, and for the first kind of 3 or 4 months we spent it in the Red Box in Dublin rehearsing, and the boys were living with myself and Brian in Dublin, and then we signed the deal, and we thought that was it. We'd made our money, or stupid things, and it was like that was only the beginning. That was only the beginning of the hard work. All of a sudden we were on planes, mostly from Dublin to London. And then it started going Dublin, London, and then all of a sudden we weren't seeing Dublin, and it was like London, and the boys were never seeing Sligo. It was London, Madrid, London, Barcelona, and then it would start, London, America, and then from recording songs, Sweden, everywhere. And then as Shane said, when the first three singles went to #1, it was just, we didn't look back. But even now, it's still hard work. We can chill out a little bit compared to what we did at the very beginning, but it's, if you want to sustain your success, you've got to keep working hard. There's no shortcut to it. There's no shortcut at all to success. You got to work hard for it. Well, it's from Louis and from us. I think the 5 of us, that what we do share is the will to work, and the will that we all have a goal at the end of it. We wanted to be successful. We wanted to be the next Backstreet Boys. And there was
we were beyond passionate about it.
Yeah, it was. It was
That's
like
exactly what it was. Every single one of us, between the 5 of us, Louis, everybody that started getting involved in us, the passion for what we wanted was just there, and we were willing to do anything to get it. I mean, anything, and we did. And you know, and once we got it, we still want more. We constantly, every day, we want more. You know, we want to go to America. We're going to go to America this summer. We want to break there. You know, we want our next album to be bigger than this album. We're just always going for the next goal. And whatever it is about us, we just set our sights at something. When we get there, it just goes higher. There's two main sets of producers that we use. There's a guy in London called Steve Mack, and he writes songs with Wayne Hector. They did Swear It Again, Fly Without Wings, What Makes a Man. They did a lot more of the ballad-based stuff. Well, it's all ballad-based stuff, really.
There's a lot of it, yeah.
And then there's the Swedish team, Dave and Per from Dave, Per and Jörgen from Sheeran, and you know, they had done Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, a lot of big artists. And when we met them, we were just like in awe of the whole idea of them working with our favourite bands and our favourite artists. So we just blended really well. They liked our voices and they gave us their top shelf songs. We were really, really lucky, to be honest. I mean, a lot of bands go in there, and you see a lot of bands that they even produce now, and you know, they still don't come out with the goods. Yeah, everybody's lower shelf. Everybody's lower shelf.
A, B, and C. Do you know what I mean? And we usually get the A.
The odd time we get an LB here and there.
The odd time we get a B, but then we don't record that one usually. So
we don't put that in the album. That was the shock of our life. I mean, our first single went straight into charts at #1, and we couldn't believe it.
We did work hard for that though. I mean, we trekked up and down Ireland and up and down the UK in a van, the 5 of us together, and featuring or visiting every radio station, you know, that existed. You know, from the big radio stations like, you know, 2FM in Ireland, and then obviously, you know, Capital Radio in England and BBC Radio in England. You know, from them big radio stations to the little, you know, downtown radios in you know, the west of, you know, Hull City and stuff like that. It's just, we went everywhere and we met people, and you know, we did a cappellas for everybody because we wanted to prove we could sing, because everybody said, oh, here we go again, another boy band, you know, another 5 lads on stage, dance around the place, sing songs, you know, so they're all gay, all the usual stuff that boy bands got. And we thought, well, you know, we're going to have to take all the stuff, you know, the good with the bad, the rough with the smooth, but we'll still work hard, and eventually, you know, hopefully we can become successful and it will shine through, and thank God it did.
Well, what I think is also shined through is we had a journalist here from Q magazine last week, and you know, we were doing an interview, and he said to me, he says, you know, I always looked at Westlife as just another boy band, just exactly what Nicky was saying. You were just another boy band. When I actually seen your show, he says, well, hold on, they can sing, they can entertain, you know, one of them plays the piano, one of them plays the guitar, they've got the comedian, they've got the serious one, they've got, you know, he says he actually said to me, I've become a fan, and I write for Q magazine. He says, you know, and that's not an everyday situation. So it's like
that's a never situation.
So it's very, very strange. I mean, hopefully NME might come and see us now and change their opinion.
NME,
but you never know.
I don't think we realise what's actually happening, and we probably won't actually be able to realise it until it's over, really, and we actually sit away from it and look back on it and say, my God, like, we done this, we done that. But at the minute, there's like, our schedule's so busy and there's so many different things happening, and all the award shows and stuff, you know, it's like you could have 4 award shows in 1 week, and that to me like kind of dampens, or like it just softens the whole blow of it, because you're going to get used to it, if you know what I mean. So it's not like we just won an award, it's like, you know, it's like just basically all the time kind of doing big things. So to be impressed or to be shocked, you need to, the thing needs to get bigger, if you know what I mean. And like, for instance, you know, sometimes now I look back at things that happened with us like a year or 2 ago, and I only realise now exactly what we achieved or whatever, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, I got to sing with Mariah Carey, which is like an absolute huge thing to me, and even at the time it was like not I wasn't reacting in anywhere near to what I would have reacted like before I was in the band or whatever, because, you know, as I say, you kind of get used to these things or whatever, and I don't know, it's like, it's all crazy. It is. It's just like, crazy. It's a crazy life.
We don't really like being compared to the Beatles, because Beatles are legends.
No, because we don't have their money.
That wasn't my phone.
The Beatles are legends.
They're legendary, and you can't compare. You know, music nowadays, I think it's a lot easier to get a #1 nowadays than it was back then. You know, I mean, there's not half as much competition. Back then, you know, it was really, really, really hard, and the Beatles were a legendary band, and I don't think we'll ever be legendary. I think people will enjoy our music, but I don't think we'll be remembered for for the rest of time, where the Beatles will be.
I think the big thing about the Beatles, obviously, is they wrote their music. You know, John Lennon, Paul McCartney. I mean, the songs they wrote, you know, are legendary songs. You know, and they're still hits, and they're playing the radio. You can play them in the club now, and everybody's on the dance floor. Whether you're a rock fan, you know, a pop fan, or an R&B fan, if a Beatles song comes on the radio or whatever, or a party, you'll go, what a song. But as well as that, since the 60s, I think music has developed into a way that there's so much more to offer now, you know, to people. There is a huge variety out there. It's everything from rap music, you know, to metal music, to pop music, you've even got cheesy pop music and kind of cool pop music. You've got rock music, you've got pop rock music, you know, and you've just got everything, you know, and I don't think there's anybody now that can really, you know, emulate or kind of, emulate what the Beatles did, you know. I don't think it'll ever happen again. You're still gonna have your legendary bands like U2, who, you know, when they ever end or whatever, will go down as, you know, one of the best rock and roll groups of all time. But they're not what the Beatles did. You know, the Beatles were the first of their kind. And I mean, today, I suppose every boy band that ever came and went since the Beatles, like whether it's us or Take That or Backstreet Boys or anybody, you know, it's all based on the same kind of hysteria of 5 guys or 4 guys in a band, you know, on stage. You know, we don't play our instruments, we don't write our songs. That so far, you know, our next single's written by 2 of the lads in our band. That's a beginning for us as well. And we're not claiming to be, you know, the next Beatles or as talented as the Beatles were, but we're just living our kind of small fraction of what music has become today.
It'd be nice to just get a little bit more, like, kind of
Adventurous.
people actually like coming to see us in concert and then giving their opinion. But a lot of people seem to make up their mind before they even see us or hear us or listen to our music properly or whatever, and that's kind of, as I said, it's unfortunate, but it'd be nice to get a little bit less of that and a little bit more kind of open-mindedness, you know, because we do, at the end of the day, we are what we are. We're 5 lads in a band. Now, whether that's a boy band or whether it's a
girl band,
whatever band, man band, whatever, we don't really care. We don't look at that, but you know what I mean, we just kind of do our thing, and it would just be nice to kind of, you know, I don't know, for people to be a little bit less kind of so quick to dismiss us the minute they hear we're a boy band or the minute they hear our name or see it's 5 lads in a group or whatever, if you know what I mean, singing kind of pop songs or whatever, because I don't know, I think we feel like, and it's obvious as well because it's crossing over, there's people in the audience, but I think, yeah, just a little bit more kind of people just not killing us before we've even started, if you know what I mean.
Come to the show. Buy a ticket.
Basically,
come on,
yeah,
down.
do you know what I mean?
There is no lifespan in this band. You can't put I don't think we're typical pop that will go and come and go. I think it's up to the fans, it's up to how good our music stays. If our music still stays the quality it's at now and even better, it's as long as we determine it, yeah.
You know, people grow with you. They don't just all of a sudden grow up one day and stop listening to music, you know. Last night our manager was walking around in here and he says there was more 30-year-old women in the audience than there was, you know, 15-year-old
they all had
girls.
short, low-cut tops on. That's what I know.
Our audience is very, very broad.
I noticed that as well, actually.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we all did, I think. Well, I mean, our audience is very broad, and like Shane said, if you continue to come out with the songs, come out with the hits, they'll continue to listen to it, you know?
It's human nature to think about your future and what you're going to become and what's going to happen to you, or, you know, whether you're going to get through college or stay in your job or move to America. Everyone just naturally, instinctively thinks about the future, and for us, we think about our future, and it's like, you know, what's going to happen after the band, or is the band going to finish in 3 years' time, or is it going to go on for longer, or are we going to kind of go downhill and fizzle away into nothing, or are we going to go out with a bang, or whatever, you know, and you have all these things going on in your head, but the best thing to do is literally just try not to think about it and let it happen.
I think we're happier now than we've ever been, you know, because when you're on tour, it's a different ball game. It's your own, you know. We put this tour together. You know, everything you see behind us is, you know, the 5 of us sitting down with obviously people who build this, you know, who have ideas as well.
But I built it.
But yeah, Shane built most of it as well. He gets up in his harness and puts it all up. But no, I mean, it is, and this is our dream, and we are enjoying it. And, you know, we don't want it to end, you know, and the important thing is the music, it's the songs. It won't end if the songs remain, you know, classic pop tunes.
It's got bigger since the last album. We're selling more concerts than we ever sold. We're still getting #1s, and that's very important. I think America's very important now. Our next album is very important to be better than this album. We just want to make everything tomorrow better than yesterday, basically. That's the way we want to live this band. It's true.